Why are all the World Cup announcers saying Turkey instead of Turkey for this country? There's actually a lot of layers to the rebrand of this English word, and this animal is even part of the story. Turkey is an anglicized pronunciation of Türkiye, which is what we call an endonym, just like how Germans refer to their country as Deutschland. In the main languages of these countries, their names for themselves are different from the English translations. It's not that weird. So the English translations are called exonyms, so we use Germany, or for most of Turkey/Turkiye's history, Turkey. Normally I get pretty annoyed at people trying to correct English exonyms, but the Turkey situation is actually pretty interesting, because if you lowercase the t in Turkey, it's no longer the exonym for the country, and it's now an animal. Ironically, an animal that's native to North America. These birds were named turkeys because they looked kind of like birds that had already been associated with what was to become modern-day Turkey. And this was just based off of the trade routes that brought this bird into Europe. So turkey for the animal was originally a clipping of like turkey cock or turkey hen. Basically just pointing out that it looked kind of like a chicken and was associated with turkey. However, just like chickens, these birds kind of have a negative connotation. For instance, most English speakers would probably be a little bit offended if somebody called them a turkey. So as opposed to being an innocent exonym, many Turkish people have felt that the name Turkey has been giving them a bad rep for a while, even though it's only one syllable off from the anglicized version of the word Türkiye. Because this is English we're talking about, the language of global commerce and the internet, and even a slight negative connotation can have a large effect. So about 4 years ago, the Turkish government requested that the UN update their references to the country to use the endonym spelling, even though umlaut letters are essentially non-existent in English. Although to be fair, with an autocomplete keyboard it's not that much of an issue. However, it's no coincidence that this push for the name change also happened right before the Turkish elections, and it was seen by many as a way to galvanize nationalistic voters. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.